It's been a little over a month since I made that tremendous haul of vintage handheld electronics at a big antique mall about an hour and a half south of me or so. I've been doing several videos from that haul, but I'm still unpacking, figuratively and literally, still unpacking some of the things I got in that trip. And today I want to cover this 1981 Packri Monster Pac-Man clone. That's right after this.
This video supported in part by...
Playing VR, I tend to sweat. It gives me an edge. So King of Nerds happens to give me an edge too. Let King of Nerds give you the edge. Bye, King of Nerds.
Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John and I am a Gen X Grown Up. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video. So when I first made that big haul of stuff a little over a month ago, I shared the image with you, and I've been producing videos from that collection of stuff, including the Zabolatronic, we looked at the Caveman, there was an Atari plug-and-play joystick in there, but this is one that when I saw it from across the room, I didn't immediately recognize it. I had never seen this before. 1981 Bandai Electronics Packri Monster. And what's interesting, and you'll see as we look at it and look in the instructions, that it is Pac-Man, but the gameplay of Pac-Man is kind of there, in a lot of ways is there, but the mythology that we know around Pac-Man is just played fast and loose in this game, and it's an interesting snapshot of something so early after the release of the original Pac-Man. Now, before we jump to the table, I want to do a really quick shout out to the middle school students in Mr. Garwood's video game design class at Home Gardens Academy in Corona, California. I understand that Mr. Garwood lets you watch some of my videos in your research around video game design, and this makes a great addition to check out what they did in '81, so early in the life. So thanks for watching. Happy to have you here. Let's go check this out.
All right, so pay attention, class, because some of this might be on the test. I don't know. Here is the Packri Monster from 1981. Now, this was made by Bandai Electronics. I understand it was actually licensed out to a lot of other companies in other parts of the world under different names. Like Tandy Radio Shack had a version. But this is the one, they never really changed the name of it when they sent it out to other countries. So the Packri Monster is effectively just a direct translation of the Japanese Pac-Man, which is Pac-Man, right? And in a lot of ways it is, but in a lot of ways it isn't. Like, is that supposed to be Pac-Man? Is that supposed to be a ghost? Well, kind of. Look at this description and you'll see what sounds kind of familiar. We have a joystick-controlled monster, which is you, to score points. Monster must avoid being gobbled by bogey, which are the ghosts. Bogey turns coward when a monster eats red power food, power pellet, and monster gobbles coward bogey quickly to score maximum point. I mean, it's Pac-Man, and yet it doesn't bother to fit in with what we already know about Pac-Man just 1 year after the release of Pac-Man, which is an interesting kind of twist on this. Around back, you just get a little more detail about what we already know, and here's the power switch and the start switch, and there's a joystick down here, but none of it even tries to resemble Pac-Man. It just looks like a generic kind of black and silver piece of electronics with a screen over here. So flipping it back around then, this one I really liked picking up, so I think the price tag is inside. We'll see in a second. They were asking $35 for it, which seems to be a pretty good going price, even without the box. So, and though this box is in so-so shape, it's okay. And before we get inside, I should point out here on the end, here's a little provenance. Here's a JCPenney price tag, and it was going for, it looks like $49 and some change back in, had to be early 80s. So really held its value pretty well over the decades. All right, let's spin them around and get inside this Packri Monster and see just how much of the original contents survived. Oh yeah, there's that price tag. I thought it was in here. So we've got the toy here, which is in really good shape. We'll look at in a second, but I want to take just a moment to show you a couple of things in this manual. What I wanted to show you is right inside the front cover here. It's a tri-fold, but this is an outline of the hardware that we're going to talk about in a second, but also the game elements that really point at how this deviates from what you would expect from a Pac-Man clone, even just an 81 power switch and the start, the action joystick used to move the monster. So you are the monster. This circle, the Packri Monster. You have 3 monsters in the game. You have 3 lives that you get to use. And unlike the arcade game where, look, we're the ones that translated monster to ghost here in the United States. They were just monsters before the ghosts were. And now you're the monster here. Foods, so here are the dots that the monster must eat. Bogeys. So rather than these being monsters or ghosts, they're bogeys. Very kind of military almost. You know, we got a bogey, 8 o'clock, you go after it, you know. And then the coward bogey, after you've eaten the, whatever they call it, the power food, whatever they called it. Yeah, and then they changed the VFD a little to show that they're vulnerable to be eaten. Same mechanic. You even have a warp tunnel, you know, a shortcut to go across, but the layout, you're the monster in this case going after the bogeys. So let's jump into the hardware of this little device. So starting over here on the left, here you've got the physical switches. You have an on-off switch, and rather than a power LED, it's got a power window that just a stripe of color slides into view. A real economy of energy. In fact, the manual even says, hey, this VFD screen really sucks up the batteries. Use an AC adapter if you have it. And then you have a start button down here. Most of the cosmetic issues on this one are over here by these buttons, which I think we can clean up really easy with a little bit of a soapy cloth. Here in the lower right, we have that action joystick, and it's just a little, feels like an 8-way joystick. There's no restrictor in it, but it's designed to go, you know, up, down, left, right to control your Packri Monster. Then directly above that, we have a lens over top of a VFD screen. And as usual, creative use of the VFD cells in the screen. We have what is effectively the ghost pin, or the bogey pin in this case. And this is raised. I don't know if you can see that, but maybe there you can. The maze is a little bit raised on the screen. You can feel it. It's not just printed. But above the pin, the score is going to appear up here. Your Packri Monster starts here. And in fact, the 2 lives in reserve are over here. So everything about this lens is designed, or the screen, the lens over the screen is designed to add to the screen layout so that the VFD doesn't have to do so much work. There's even the warp tunnel here that crosses out this way and in the other side, and vice versa. It's all Pac-Man at a glance, but man, wait till you see when you play it, it's even more like Pac-Man, while somehow also kind of not being Pac-Man. Around here in the back, very simple. We have a little decal that, again, shows you how to play the game in case you've lost the instructions, which is most likely the case. Fairly clean here, like just a couple of little pieces of gunk. We'll try to get that off. And then we have the battery door. And while I don't necessarily see a lot of corrosion or anything, it's definitely dirty. It's definitely dirty. We're going to throw some batteries in it in a second. But first, let's see what we can do about cleaning it up. Okay, that's about as much scrubbing as I'm willing to do. It's not perfect, but it's cleaner, and the years of gunk are off of it. Let's flip it over and try putting batteries in here and see what kind of success we have. Okay, batteries in. Let's flip it on. I'm not super hopeful. Yeah, nothing. Okay, what I do have, though, is I have an external AC adapter, and this does have a plug here that'll allow me to plug it in, so let's try that. So I've got the appropriate shaped plug. Put that in here. Batteries are out of it. I'm going to set this to 5 volts, which is what it says it needs. There we go, right about there ought to do it. Now let's see. There we go. There's some life. Okay. Let's try to clean up those battery contacts then. So I've made that same kind of lemon juice and baking soda paste in here. I have this clunky old toothbrush that I'm going to use to try to scrub these contacts and see if we can't get a little more conductivity out of these old things. And finally, for good measure, I'm just going to try to scuff these up a little bit, make sure there's nothing left on there, some clean metal. Yeah, you can see a little more of the gunk in there now that we've... now some of that is the leftover baking soda, but some of it is just a little bit of grime left over, I think. Alright, let's clean that out as best we can. That chalky stuff that's left in there from the baking soda, and let's see what that did. And still nothing. All right, well, Good news is, it works with the AC power. You know, maybe something in there is a little more, maybe it's shaking loose or something. We'll try to fix that another time. But for now, let's plug this thing in via 5 volt and give it a playthrough so you can see exactly what it's like.
Quickly before we press start on this Packri Monster, I want to remind you of our store over at GenXGrownUp.com/merch. You can get hats and mugs and tees and pins and stickers and all sorts of stuff with our logo, or all sorts of cool nerdy designs from pop culture and gaming and movies and pretty much anything you're interested in. Look, if it's something you're looking for already, you're gonna get it, but if you check out our store, not only will you get the cool thing you want, but you'll support independent content creation like you see right here on Gen X Grown Up. Please do keep us in mind. I appreciate it. All right, let's go play.
There he is. So, a little bit of flicker, not as much in person as you might imagine. So, hit start down here, and then there's the tune. So it looks like you start with just one bogey, or ghost as we would call it. Oh, you can come to a full stop too if you just try to aim up. I also read in the manual that if you go out the side door and push up, you get stuck in there until you come out on your own. Let's go ahead and eat this bogey. Let him turn into a scared bogey. Come on around. There he is. Let's go down and get him. Got him. You can see my extra lives over there on the left. See another power pellet, or whatever it's called, superfood. Let's get this ghost / bogey. I'm going to call him ghost. 100 points. There we go. Now we have 2 bogeys. So 2 ghosts are after us now. And in my early plays with this, it took, you got up to 3 ghosts was the max, which I guess is how many fits in the ghost pen across the middle there. Let's see if we can't get him to come over here to us. Come on, guys. Oh, they're coming around the bottom. There we go. Got that one. Come around and get him. No, he's flashing. I don't think I can get him in time. Here comes another one, though. Gotcha. Got it. Now watch this after you finish the second level. You get the intermission. It plays a little cartoon. It's obviously super based on and inspired by Pac-Man, and yet so many of the Pac-Man trappings, the ghosts, oh, here's the 3 ghosts or bogeys now. So much of it, they just changed the mythology around and went, yeah, whatever. Close enough. Oh, they're getting away from me. Oh, I got one of them. And down and around. Only 2 are scared. Uh-oh. Can I get to him? Got him. So we get back across here. There's one left that I can't get to. There it is. All right. Another level done. It looks like we stick at 3 ghosts, which is okay by me. And the maze is very small, which makes it quite easy to get your way around and clear the screen. Got those scared guys. You know, you pretty much by the time you travel around one time and get some ghosts, it's... Oh, I finished that level without getting ghosts. Oh, there's another animation after another couple of boards. And the sound is really clear. I'm sure you can hear that on camera because it's loud right here by me. And that's where the microphone is. Well, they're getting faster, that's for sure. Control is decent. See if they stay scared a little less time. That guy just hovered around the power pellet. Just finish this up. There we go. Like, if you got this in 81 wanting to play Pac-Man, what would you think? Man, look how fast they are. Would you go, this is not Pac-Man, or would you go, this is so close to this is so close to Pac-Man that it's great? That's how I think I would feel. They're getting pretty fast now to where it's just kind of good luck, Charlie. Oh man, they're flying. Faster than I'm moving for sure. I can't even get up there to the power. I just did it. Now you just power pellets or self-defense. Like you just, ooh! Was that it? Was that my last guy? Yep, that was it. All right, 641. 641 is what I got. It says if you can cross 1,000, the manual says if you can get through 1,000, when the game ends, there'll be a little emblem, something there, one of the ghosts are flashing or something to show you got crossed 1,000. And really, we got a pretty good score, all things considered. The screen still works great. All the VFD cells are there. And yeah, the battery box could be better, but man, is it a nice game and still in good operational order if you don't mind plugging it into that AC power.
You know, I really find this Pac-Man clone, this early clone, this Packri Monster, to be weird in all the best possible ways. Like, so it's 81. It's so early after the release of Pac-Man that maybe it was too early to know just how iconic the game was going to be in pop culture and gaming. And so Bandai just kind of took this and went, yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, even though they stole stuff like in the maze, eating dots, and the center pin and all that, but they changed, like, you're a monster? That's weird. I think if they had known how popular Pac-Man would be, this probably would have been much closer, in terms of tone at least, to the Pac-Man that we all know. That being said, even with the intermission, I mean, it is so much the arcade game Pac-Man, but being so early after the release just makes it a weird snapshot in history. I love collecting weird old handheld and tabletop games, electronics like this. I do it all the time. If you enjoy that sort of thing, I will put links to others I've covered here and here. Of course, I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.